Okay, so again, does the pain increase during the initial treatments, like for the first five or so? Well, what happens? The reason, the short answer is no. It's not. You don't feel pain, um, like the pain that you've been experiencing in your back or your, like in my case. Well, so in my case, I went to Tom because I had a I went to Joe, Dr. Joe, because I had a hip problem, and all my muscles were hard as a rock in my hip. The problem I had was in my left hip, and all the muscles in my lower back and my upper back and my buttocks, they're all hard as a rock. And the reason they were all hard as a rock because the muscles were contracting. They were constantly contracting, and that's where the pain was coming from. And the reason the muscles were constantly contracting was because lactic acid was interfering with the lactic acid gets stuck in the spindle fibers. The spindle fibers are the things that protect the nerve endings and the signal back to the brain of the muscle. The muscles are trying to tell the brain to tell the muscle fibers, because the signals go back and forth between the nerve endings in your muscles to your brain and back to the nerves, back to the muscles again. So the muscles are trying to tell the brain that, or the nerve endings are trying to tell the brain. Gosh, I forget. Let's see. Oh, the brain is trying to tell the muscle to relax, but the signal is getting messed up, so the muscles keep contracting. And again, if you read the book, Tom's book, you'll learn it in detail. I just haven't spoken about it in so long, or thought about it in so long. But anyway, that's the problem. That's why the muscles are pulling down on your vertebrae and they're not relaxing properly, is because the signal back and forth between the muscles and your brain are being interfered with, because lactic acid has gotten trapped in these spindle fibers, the things that protect the nerve endings. So anyway, no, you feel like Tom says, the lactic acid is being flushed out of these spindle fibers, which protect the nerve endings, and the muscles that have been in this contracted state for so long, they slowly start to relax. Right? Muscle fibers are in either two positions only. They either contract or relax. And people that have these muscle issues have them because the muscles are in this constant state of contraction, and they just keep getting tighter and tighter because they're getting the wrong signal from the brain. So no, you start to feel better if you're getting worked on by somebody who knows what they're doing. So the pain is, it's not the same pain. And if you ask your friend, they'll tell you, if your friend had success. How many treatments did you have to? Yeah, I wrote about that, and the answer was I went two days a week to Dr. Joe, um, for 2 months. So it took me 8 treatments until I started to be able to sit in a chair and sit in my car seat and feel comfortable. But I knew immediately after the first treatment, because I had read everything that Greiner had written, so I knew what his technique and his reasoning was based upon. So when I went to Dr. Joe, Dr. Joe knew everything. I knew everything Dr. Joe did about what Greiner had written, because that's how Dr. Joe got hooked up with Tamsin. He read something just like I read what Greiner had read. I'd read everything that Greiner wrote, and so did Dr. Joe. So we knew he was on the right track. And Dr. Joe was a chiropractor, and he just wasn't seeing the results that these, chiropractic methods, so called, have promised everybody. So he knew that chiropractic was not correct, and he knew that Greiner was probably heading in the right direction. Okay, so I have to get to the next video. Sorry.